All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. All right, guys, so last night, Bitcoin continued to pump up. I think we ended the video yesterday right around here. We were seeing a little bit of a retrace here, and we had a CPI print today, and CPI came in bullish, lower than expected. And we did get a pretty quick move up here. And where do we move up to? Well, it was a very key level of resistance we were watching, but it was also the swing failure pattern of this high here. And yesterday we had just front run the anchored VWAP on Bybit and the Pitchfork midline on Bybit. Now on Coinbase, we did hit the anchored VWAP, but yeah, we were looking to grab the liquidity from this high and see a move down. And look at what happened. We grabbed that liquidity on the pump of the CPI news, and then we had a pretty quick, swift drop here. And we just really had a swift drop to take the liquidity of the local lows and then pumped up. If we go like onto the hourly chart, you can see it was a pretty clean hourly SFP there. And since then, we've been slowly grinding our way up all day, and we are at our resistance again. You can see really hard here that Bitcoin is trying really hard to break above this anchored VWAP and this pitchfork midline. But what I don't like is look at all these wicks that we're seeing on the hourly chart to the upside. So anytime we get up to this resistance area, we are seeing some selling pressure come in and pushing us back down. Another thing that I don't like is the volume on this move up. It just looks corrective to me. This does not look impulsive at all. And yesterday, we talked about the possibility of a bullish 1, 2, 1, 2, and an explosion in a third wave where we would need to break this high with some volume, not see the swing failure pattern, and continue pumping to the upside. Well, that didn't happen. We did get the swing failure pattern. We dropped, took a local liquidity and then reversed. But we're really not seeing any real strength come in on this move up here. It looks very corrective. Also, yesterday we were looking at a parallel channel, and we were looking at this parallel channel here where we were trading inside of this channel. Well, after that liquidity grab, we did dump and break the channel to the downside. We started seeing volume come in here, and I did update in the Discord. We're really starting to see some volume on the break of this channel. Maybe we're going to drop to our local. We have if I go onto the Coinbase chart, I have it marked out. I put this support level early in the morning this morning because this is our support that I'm looking at. We have a fresh daily level down there. We have the SFP of like the second pivot or second liquidity of that channel. And then we also have our 786 fib pull. And that fib pulls just from the low to the high, the SFP highs here. And if we go to our 786, you can see it's at the bottom of the box here. Now, I'm not so much looking at the golden pocket actually, because you can see this golden pocket is above our swing failure liquidity grab. And if we are going to drop this low, I expect us to take that liquidity. Like if we come into this golden pocket, we're so close to that liquidity. Why would we not go grab it and at least come down to our daily level? So let's go ahead and turn on our JC pocket where it shows both the golden pocket and the 786. So I'm looking for, if we do start to retrace here and it's going to make a higher low, this is the box of support that I'm looking at, really from like 78,900 to 78,236. And if we can, or 78,242, let's say that. And so if we can get a drop here to this level and see it hold, then that might be a bit bullish for Bitcoin, because there is still a possibility. We are seeing confirmed now bull divs on the daily chart. So we have confirmed bull divs on the daily chart at a pretty major low. We know it was the 1.236 fib extinction target of our bigger ABC correction. And there is still a possibility that we are going to form a 5-wave impulse to the upside, with all of this being a wave 1. Maybe we see a retrace and a wave 2 down to this area, and then we would see a big 3 come in here. If we go on to the 4-hour chart, that's a bit more clear. You can see this does kind of look like a wave 1 in a 5-wave impulse. But we are still having some trouble with our very first local resistance area, and it's no wonder we're having trouble. If we zoom out onto our daily chart, I mean, this anchored VWAP here was holding as support for multiple days. Yes, we saw wicks past it, but it was holding as support. We broke it to the downside and spent a couple days below it. So now it's acting as a resistance for us. I didn't mean to draw a face there, a weird nose face. Anyways, or some of you guys might have had some other thoughts in mind. Don't be dirty there. Maybe that was me that had those thoughts. Anyways, look at this. Lower lows. Let me grab my pen again. Lower lows on price action. And we do have higher lows on the momentum waves. And you can see our money flow is kind of starting to bottom out and flatten out here like it wants to curve to the upside. So if we can get past this area, I do think our next major level is between 88,000 to 88,600. And I'll go into that now, why I think that could be a possibility. So let's zoom in onto the 2-hour chart here. And if we do a golden pocket pull of the entire ABC correction, with this being our, our A wave that we saw, our B wave, our C wave down, we hit our 1.236 target in this area. And now we might see a impulse to the upside. But if we do a golden pocket pull from these highs of the A wave to the lows of the C wave, our golden pocket here is coming in between $88,000 and $88,600. Well, look at this, our bullish pitchfork midline. Now, this pitchfork has been a very highly respected pitchfork for months now, and our bullish pitchfork midline is coming in at that golden pocket. Also, if I go on to the Bybit chart and we look at the bearish pitchfork pulled from the all-time high, first, let me get rid of this. You can see that on the 2-hour chart, our lower band held us. Yes, we saw the wick to our 1.236 target, but overall, the bottom of the band held as support. Now we're at the midline right now, fighting with this midline, trying to break it. This is one reason why I still think we could reject here, because we're at the midline and we're not able to break it yet. But if we can break it to the upside, our golden pocket, that same exact golden pocket pull, which is a couple dollars of a difference on Bybit, is at the upper pitchfork band of resistance. And you can see we do have a naked daily point of control up there as well. So multiple levels of confluence in this area. 2 different pitchforks have resistance area up here. We have the golden pocket. We have the naked daily point of control. So this area here is really the next resistance. Now, we do have a smaller golden pocket at 87K. I'm not so much looking at that one, because if we are going to see a 3-wave impulse to the upside, where this is our 5-wave impulse, to the upside, with our 3-wave being a little bit explosive here. If this is our wave 1 and we retrace to the 786 on a wave 2, a wave 3 all the way up to this golden pocket area would be a nice wave 3. We could see a pullback from there and then get our wave 5 up to our 93K value area low, which is the ultimate level of resistance right now. And maybe not the ultimate, I'm sorry, not the ultimate, 97K is the ultimate level. But why I'm saying 93K is so important still is because it's our value area low of our range that we broke down, that was lasting for a couple months here, for 90 days or so, this range here. So the value area low of that range is up at 93K. And if we create a 5-wave impulse up to that range, and we see another bearish rejection of that range, we will probably come make new lows. Now, it might be another ABC correction that takes another 2 weeks. After seeing a 5-wave impulse, we might see just a bit of a grind down here in an ABC correction to the downside. But I do think there is still a possibility we could see this impulse come in, especially with the bull dips we're seeing confirm on the daily. I am concerned, though. I am concerned about how this push up looks so far. If we go on to our volume, let me go ahead and come in here and grab that volume. Let's turn the volume on. You can see how poor our volume looks on the charts. Let's go into the 1-hour chart so we can get a little bit better of a look here. And you can see here, just decreasing volume, the entire push up, pushing up here in this ascending channel type of price action here. Volume going lower and lower and lower overall. And you can see most of our big spikes are red spikes. This one big green spike we saw was from the CPI news that we saw. And so, of course, bullish news on CPI is going to give us a little bit of spike in green volume, because people play those trades. They play news-based trades. And that gave us our SFP, though. All that did was give us a liquidity grab so that we can now rotate back down. I do not like, especially this last 8 to 10 hours that we're seeing here of this little push up here. Look how low the volume is going on this push up. It just looks corrective to me. Now, the one thing that contradicts this, seeing a rollover from here, is, I have to say, our money flow. Our money flow on the hourly looks pretty good here. Our money flow on the 4-hour chart, let's go to the 4-hour chart, is starting to curve to the upside now. Let me delete that little circle here so you can see that better. Let's go back onto the 4-hour chart and we'll just full screen it. You can see our money flow is coming to the upside now on the 4-hour chart. And if we go into lower time frames, let's go to the 15-minute chart. This is a little bit concerning to me. So we were seeing some bearish divs from these highs here, higher highs on the price action, lower highs on the momentum waves, money flow coming down. That gave us our dip here, and then we saw another high come in up here. So more highs here, and money flow kept coming down. Now, we did make a higher momentum wave, or like an equal momentum wave, but you could even classify that as a very small bearish dip between all those highs. Now, we kind of reset those bear divs because we had the drops play out. In this little area here where I'm really concerned about how low the volume is on this push up here, the last 10 hours or so, you can see here, higher highs on the price action, lower highs on the momentum waves, money flow now coming out. So we are seeing some mixed signals. On the hourly, money flow looks good. On the 4-hour, money flow's finally bottoming out and trying to come to the upside. Daily bull divs. So if you want to be bullish, there is some reason to be bullish. I still, with the lower time frame bear divs that we're seeing and just the low volume, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we roll over down to this daily level around 79.5 to like 79.2, grab the liquidity, and then make that wave 3 to the upside. If this doesn't hold, we're for sure going to make new lows. It's just how low will we go? Well, if we did front run this pitchfork band here of the bigger bullish pitchfork. So at the bottom here, we do have the band coming in around 76, 150-ish, 160-ish. And that would be a really nice liquidity grab of the low into the bullish pitchfork band. But I'm not so sure that will even play out. If we roll over and do not hold local support, then we're probably going down to 75 to 74K. The bottom of the band is around 73.5. But let's go back to our Bybit chart because I do want to talk about our support coming in around 75K, which let's go zoom out to the hourly chart. Let me go ahead and now turn off this volume just to get it out of the way. Let's see, where's that? There we go. And the bottom of our pitchfork is around a 74,500 as well. So 74,500 now is looking pretty juicy down here. Was that, let's see. Yeah, 74,500. And then on this chart, it's at, 73,500, or depending on how long it takes to get down there, 73,700. So I would say that general area between 74.5 and 73.7 is an area of support. We could be looking for another bounce on Bitcoin. And it might be a bounce that's a $6,000 move up similar to this bounce. But right now, our trade from 76.6 played out perfectly. You should have taken a TP1 at this 84K first resistance level. Now, if you did that, you can protect your position so that it's a free guaranteed win trade. And my next level of TP I would be interested in is this 88,000 to 88,600 area. All right. That is about it for Bitcoin as far as price action goes, but I want to go into the liquidity heat map because this is our Model 3 liquidity heat map on, I believe, the week. Yes, so looking at the last week of price action, we'll look at this. First of all, we do have some liquidity just above us. That's from people probably shorting these highs that we've seen here. You can see we did take out some of the liquidity earlier, but not all of it. But look at where our next liquidity band is at here. A lot of liquidity is sitting up here, and right at the end of the liquidity is around 88,000 to 88,600, where our next key level of resistance is. So I wouldn't be surprised if we continue this slow, arduous grind like this up to that level. Maybe we can overnight work our way, flip this anchored VWAP, and then work our way up here. But here's the thing, guys. If we come up to 88.2 without seeing this correction first, I think that decreases the probability of this being a 1, 2, 3 impulse to the upside. I think this would be more of a complex correction that takes a few days, come up here, hit this, and then make new lows. So, yeah, it's depending on how Bitcoin continues to grind to the upside. If we keep grinding up with low volume like this, it's not a good sign for Bitcoin. It's really not. We can look at this now. We can put a new channel on the charts, just going from the ultimate low there to this flash crash low after the liquidity grab, and then we'll pull it up to our first highs. And you can see this channel here is being pretty respected. Let's go on to the 15-minute chart so you can get a better look at it. Yeah, you can see this channel is being pretty respected. The midline is acting as a resistance and a support, and now we're kind of rejecting from the midline. Excuse me, from the midline right now as well. So yeah, that's what we're looking at with Bitcoin. We have liquidity at 88K to 88.2. That would be really nice if we did come up there and grab that liquidity. It could be a very nice short if we just keep grinding our way up there for the next couple days in this ascending channel up to that level, and then boom. Now, the higher we grind up, we're going to have to change our golden pocket 786 fib pull based on how high we go. Right now, our 786 fib pull is aligned pretty nicely with this daily level and our swing failure pattern liquidity grab. I would rather see, if I wanted to be bullish here, I would rather see us break this channel down now or in the next, 12 hours or so, come grab that liquidity into our daily support, into our 786, and then make the big push up to 88.6 or 88.5. That's what I would like to see, but the market doesn't care what you'd like to see. The market's going to do what it does. So we just map out both possibilities, and we play whichever one comes. You can set up trades with proper risk management for each one. Now, if this does roll down here like this and it hits into our 786, you could take a long there and put your stop below the lows at 76.6. To me, that's kind of a long stop loss. You would be targeting in that rate at least 88. The 88, I'd probably do 88.5, 88.3 is around where that naked daily point of control is. So that is still over a 5-to-1 risk reward ratio. That is a great risk to reward ratio. Now, because if we do come down and tap the 0.88, say we keep dropping on this. So let me go ahead and get rid of this for a second. And say we break this down and we do not bounce at our daily and our 786 here, even if we bounce from the 886, we're eventually going to come down and take these lows. So for me, I'm not going to be putting my stop below these lows. I would probably just put my stop below the local 886. Because even if we bounce from that local 886, then we're long from here. We bounce from the local 886. As soon as we start coming up to the local lower high golden pocket, I'll look to take out at least 50% of the trade to lock in a TP1, knowing that eventually we're probably going to come down and take out the lows. So that's how you would play that trade there. Now, as far as our short to the upside, we do have that 88 to 88.6 level of resistance, and you can see it's also going to be aligning very nicely with the top of the channel. If we grind for a day and a half or so up to this area, let's see, that would be Thursday, March 3rd. Okay, so at the end, tomorrow night, it'd take about 24 hours to get up there and be in alignment, confluence channel-wise. And if we do come up here and continue to grind up here, what you'd want to see is you'd want to be patient and wait for the hit and wait for the rejection, and maybe you could wait for a 1-minute change in market structure, and then you could come in here and you could short that lower high, stop above the wick. You would be targeting down towards the local golden pocket. So at that point, you would have to do a new golden pocket pull from the 76.6 lows down here, if I can get to it, up to your highs, wherever your highs are going to be. And you would look at that golden pocket as your TP1, and the reason why is because you could still make a higher low. All of this could be a wave 1, and then you would come down to this area for your wave 2, bounce up in a wave 3, you still have the possibility with the bull divs on the daily to create a bigger impulse to the upside, with your wave 1 being a bounce from 76.6 all the way up to 88.2 or 88.3, let's say. So that's how I would play that short. You'd have to be patient up here because this is strong resistance and this is an area to look for shorts, but you don't want to just blindly set a limit order here, because if it busts through that, then you're underwater. You're having to manage your risk. You might get stopped out. So I would wait for the reaction to happen and look at what's going to happen on that reaction there. Zoom into lower time frames. See if you have bear divs. I would be expecting at least 15-minute and lower bear divs up here on Market Cipher B. You could also look up here at your CVD. If you hit into it, kind of see a small bounce from the midline, come up here to your local golden pocket, and you're seeing lower highs on the price action, but your CVD is showing bearish divergence here. You could look for that to get confirmation to enter the short. Let's actually check this out while we're here. And so that's a couple possibilities to look for confirmations to enter that short at the 88.2 to 88.6K level. All right, look at this, guys. I mean, we haven't made new highs yet, but if we do make, hold on, actually, we don't want to make new highs if we're seeing, so we're on the verge of seeing bearish CVD because lower highs here in the price action. We're about equal highs in the CVD, and our open interest overall from this high, well, I guess it's about equal as well. Let's see here. Let me click that off. No, not quite yet. Not quite yet. We're not really seeing any signs on CVD as far as bullish or bearish absorption here. Let's go ahead and zoom out on this and let's look at, yeah, I don't like this though. Look at, first of all, we are just seeing a lack of participants in the market. Our CVD or our open interest overall continues to go down. Now, just recently in this little half of this leg here, we're seeing open interest go up, and you can tell those are longs. So new longs are entering at our local resistance. Like, you know, it's crazy, at the local resistance instead of at a lower high, a higher low. But we're up here. We're seeing new longs come in. Honestly, this is somewhat of a bearish sign because when you see longs come in towards resistance, oftentimes they'll get trapped and get flushed by the market maker, get stopped out by the market maker. Just the market maker is going to use them as liquidity. So yeah, we are seeing, you know, the price action is grinding to the upside here. It's market longs that overall, and that's new money coming in that is grinding to the upside here up near the top of our resistance. Now, who knows? Maybe they're strong enough. Maybe they are persistent enough to break us through this level of resistance that we're seeing here between 84K and 84.5. But right now, based off of volume, I mean, like, look at how low this volume is. It doesn't look like it to me. It just does not look practical or probable. So we got to be patient. We're kind of in a no trade zone. If you did take the SFP from earlier today, you should have taken profit when you started to bounce, and you haven't gotten stopped out yet, but you're pretty darn close to getting stopped out here. So that's why we always lock in a TP1. As soon as we SFP'd this local low here, I would have took a TP1. I mean, we could even say we SFP'd this little liquidity here on this ABC here. 1, 2, 3. I guess this B wave liquidity there. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at. Also, we can do a golden pocket pull. Let's delete that real quick. Let's do a golden pocket pull from our last low to our high up here. Yeah, it was also the golden pocket. So of course you're going to want to be taking profit at the golden pocket, your local golden pocket at TP1. So that makes sense. Right now, it's just low, slow grinding price action, low volume, slow grinding price action to the upside, which looks way more corrective than impulsive. And because of that, I do expect us to roll over. Now, the question is, are we going to roll over and form a higher low, bouncing from this support area, or are we going to continue to come down to make new lows? Overall, Bitcoin still looks weak though. Even though we are seeing bull divs on the daily time frame, Bitcoin still does look weak. Okay, that's it for Bitcoin, guys. Not too much else to cover here on Bitcoin. Let's go to Ethereum real quick here. Ethereum looks even, man, look at this. More sideways than ascending channel. You know, Bitcoin's at least got an ascending channel going. But this is forming a small range. So what we can do is we can take our range pull here and you can just play this range. We're coming up towards the value area high. Anytime you come up towards the value area high, you can look for shorts. Anytime you're coming down near the value area low, you can look for longs. So look at this. The value area low has confluence with the bottom of our daily descending channel. Was that the daily descending channel? No, not the bottom of the daily descending channel. Hold on. Let me zoom out here so I can get a better look at what we're looking at. Yeah, it is the bottom of the much bigger daily descending channel. This is a steeper channel that is more local price action from this 2,800 high down to our 2,600 high. But our bigger channel, let's go onto the 4-hour chart. Our bigger descending channel on the daily, the bottom of it is at our value area low. And I know this range looks like nothing when we zoom out, but there is something there. We are in our bigger support box, that screen box. And for the last 2 videos, I have been saying that it is very possible that Ethereum starts to form a range down here in this support and try to hold it as support to make a bigger push to the upside, maybe up to this midline here. You know, this box of resistance around 2260-ish, or, you know, in that area. So we are forming that range. That is somewhat of a good sign. But, like, look at, I mean, it just doesn't look the strongest here. Let's go ahead and, you know what, you could even, yeah, you could pull your volume just from these lows. Not, I wouldn't include that last big red wick because that's part of the impulse down. So I'd go right afterwards. Here you go. Value area low. Now what we can look for is we'll look for confluence at the value area high and the value area low. So if we do our fib pull from the last big high here to our low, okay, golden pocket is what we're rejecting from right now. But we have not hit the 786. So the 786 value area high, we could pump up to that area. And then if we do our golden pocket pull from our local low to our local high, let's see, it's got to be this guy here. Yeah, value area low is right around the golden pocket. And then we have the bottom of the big daily descending channel in pink there as well. So that could be your local support if we're just going to keep ranging for a bit. But you can also see here that this steeper channel midline keeps rejecting us. Rejected here from the channel midline, rejected here from the channel midline, rejected here from the channel midline, rejected in all of here from the channel midline. So this steeper, I would say 4-hourly trend channel in blue here is a very steep downtrend, and even the midline, we're having trouble even breaking the midline of it. So Ethereum is just not looking strong, and you could even say this looks a little bit bear flaggish here. You know, with this being the bear, the pole, that was a horrible drawing, but this being the pole and this being kind of like a flag or a pennant or some, you know, some weird thing that's going on in here where we might even break that down and come to that $1,600 to $1,500 level that is really key that we're looking for. I think Ethereum could bottom out in this area. If Bitcoin breaks 70K though, it's probably going to break this area. And I do still think it's a high likelihood that Bitcoin goes down to 72 to 70K, but we're right now just going to watch more local price action, see how everything develops. As far as, let's go on to our daily chart and let's look at our daily here. So we don't have any new dailies. This daily here has been taken out already. We do have this daily just above us. Okay, so we'll mark that out right in here at 1923. A new daily level there that hasn't been tapped yet. And if we go ahead and let's zoom back into the 4-hourly. So that new daily level is actually where that value area high was. Let's go back on our 1 hour and let's pull that range. And you can see our value area high is right at that daily. So that is a good level to look for a rejection. If we do make one more little push up, maybe do an internal liquidity grab of all these highs that we're seeing in here. Grab that liquidity into our value area high, into our daily, and then continue to push back down. Okay, there's that. And then let's look at our naked daily points of control. Let me get rid of these things and then we'll turn this on. There we go. Yeah, naked daily point of control. There's no new ones really. This line here is of today's price action, so you can't mark that out yet because we still have a lot of time left in today's candle. And there's nothing else really around us for quite a while, to be honest with you. Let's go zoom out onto the 4-hour chart and let's look here. Man, there's really nothing as far as naked dailies all the way up to this area here around, what is that, 2650-ish. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at here on Ethereum. I'm going to delete this golden pocket because it's already labeled in this box just to clean up the charts. You can see that we do have that labeled already, golden pocket there. And that golden pocket's still a valid untouched golden pocket. So as far as more local price action, you could trade this range. Now, I think that could be dangerous because if Bitcoin starts making a move, it's going to break those local levels like they're nothing. But we do have the top of the channel coming in here around 2150-ish, and that could act as a nice level where you would look for. Let's look at this here for a second. So let's do a golden pocket pull from the highs to the lows here. And yeah, really nice confluence here. We have our golden pocket aligning with the top of the channel because by the time we work our way up to the top of the channel, it is going to be near that gold. It's going to be in confluence with that golden pocket. So we could put here GP / channel top. Okay. And that we could easily squeeze up there with how steep this liquidity curve is on Ethereum. If Bitcoin starts breaking that 84.5K resistance that we're at now. But look at this. We're rejecting from the midline. We can continue to chop in this box. And I do think it's even possible to come down and grab our liquidity of our low from a couple days ago here and then still continue to range. So oftentimes in ranges, you'll stop out liquidity on both sides before making the real move. And this is our our initial low of the range. So I wouldn't be surprised actually if over the next couple days we're chopping in here. Maybe we come down here, grab that, come back up, reject from the golden pocket, maybe do something all like this for over the weekend. Form a bigger range over the weekend, but grab that liquidity down there. Okay, that's it for Ethereum. Let's go ahead and go into Solana here. Solana, and actually I want to look at our Coinbase chart here. Ethereum on Coinbase. So yes, we did come up into that resistance. That was our value area low back test, and you can see we are still not able to break the value area low. Back test to the value area low in our more macro 382 level. So if we're rejecting from our macro 382, what happens when you reject from a macro 382? That means the trend is still strong and the trend has been to the downside. We're rejecting from a bearish retrace of a 382. So what that means is that the 382 is to the upside, but it's in a bearish trend. And it's also our year-long value area low in here. So we are rejecting from our value area low. We're rejecting from our 382. Just like Bitcoin, we're not seeing much of a rejection yet. We're almost forming like this, kind of triangle lower high pattern in here. Maybe it's starting to break to the downside as we speak here, but we were forming this, rising higher lows, starting to break down. So maybe we are going to see a push down here now. But the fact that we can't break back into the value area of the range that we have been in for the last year is a more macro bearish sign for Solana, that Solana might want to come down to actually hit this 1-to-1 fib target that we've been talking about, or even greater. Grab the liquidity into our 1.236 at the bottom of the pitchfork band here, the bottom pitchfork band, around 103 down to about 100. I think it's a very big possibility that we could still come down into this area, where this area here is really going to be a juicy area to look for a potential swing long. So that's about it on, let's make this green. That's about it on Solana to the downside. Now we could also look at, it's not it. Let's go over local. We can do our Fibonacci pull from the low to the high, and you can see that golden pocket and 786 area, we do have our local liquidity, internal liquidity grab right underneath the golden pocket. So I would actually say the local liquidity grab into our pitchfork midline and our 786 would be a little bit better. But we can even say this is very local. Now, I don't even know if I want to draw a box here because I don't want people to get the idea that this is a strong support. It is a support, but it's not. With Solana front running the 1-to-1 fib target here, Bitcoin did not front run its target. Solana front ran its 1-to-1 target. We have a much more higher probability of rolling down and at least coming to the 1-to-1, if not to the 1.236 like Bitcoin did, and then seeing the push. So I do think it's a bit risky to try to long this area in here, but technically it is a local support area, so we will talk about it. And then to the upside, you can see we almost made it up to our pitchfork band up here, but I like the top of the picture. I'm going to delete this now. You guys can see that that was resistance. We've had that marked out on our chart for 2 days, and it is acting as a resistance. It almost looks like even a head and shoulders type pattern in here. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, break it to the downside, come to your 1-to-1. Anyways, let's delete that now, and let's go ahead and look at our golden pocket into the upper part of our pitchfork band. This is the next level I would be looking for a potential short, and that golden pocket pull is just from our B wave highs up here down to our C wave lows. Now, so far, C wave lows. Yeah, golden pocket is going to be the same area I covered yesterday, 136.5 to 138.6. And then if we break that to the upside, same box of resistance up here, 143 to 144. Yeah, that's about it, guys, on Solana. I'm just going to go over these real quick because I got started real late today. Let's go to XRP. XRP does have, I mean, we are finally breaking this channel midline here, which we had rejected from a couple times, and now we're trying to flip it to support. But once again, on all these coins, this doesn't look strong. This push up looks very corrective, and we might continue to kind of grind up in this area, this pattern, until this box, and then see the big dump. That is actually a real possibility, but I do expect this price action looks very corrective, and we probably do dump and make new lows after hitting our bigger resistance area. So that bigger resistance area is the same from yesterday. It is between 236 and 244. And then if we break that, we have the next big area of resistance, 258 to 264.8. To the downside, now we can always look for the liquidity grab of our lows. These lows down here at 189.75. But then the next level I'd be looking at was that 1.236 fib extinction pull, and it's at $1.80. I don't have it on the chart anymore, but if you go watch yesterday's video, or if you just take my word for it, at $1.80, we do have that 1.236 of the ABC correction target down there. If we break 180, we're really going to come to the bottom of this channel here. Let's zoom out onto the 4-hour chart. Yeah, this is a bigger pull, by the way. This isn't the same pull as the ABC correction pull as the one I was just talking about. And there's a possibility we come down to 155.8 as well. But this is the general, 180 would be the next general area if we don't SFP the lows. And then on top of that, yeah, actually, because let's do this one here. This guy. Come on. Lock onto it. I don't think it did. There we go. Okay, 176. Yeah, I mean, you could also look for the SFP of these lows because it was such an extreme wick down there that there is probably some liquidity resting down there. So that's about it for XRP. XRP is still just trading in this bigger sideways range since the flash crash. It's holding up much better than a lot of these coins are actually. So it's still hasn't taken its flash crash lows, whereas Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, Cardano, all these other ones are far below their flash crash lows. Now, part of the reason is because XRP crashed so dang hard because there was so much leverage in the system from everyone longing up in this area. But you can see our local range, we're back testing the value area low right now. So if we're in the process of the bearish back test. If we cannot break back into the value area, there is a very high probability that we break down and make new lows, not only below our low from a couple days ago, but probably below our lows here at the flash crash wick. And we probably continue, honestly, to the bottom of the channel, around $1.60. Okay, that's it for XRP. Let's go to Chainlink here. Chainlink, let's zoom in on this hourly chart. We were tracking this hourly ascending channel. And it looks like I didn't look at this once today, so that's why it's not updated. But yeah, same type of thing, guys. Low volume push to the upside. You can see here, now our value area low has shifted in this little range here. So yeah, we're inside the value area here, but we broke the channel down. We're kind of just grinding sideways in this crappy, it is still an ascending channel. We can just adjust it a bit. Let's do that there. Let's bring that there. Ascending channel here. You can see the midline is being respected. Bounce here, bounce here, bounce here. I know that looks very small for you guys. Let's zoom in. Bounce at the midline, rejection from the midline, bounce at the midline. So it is being respected, and we're coming up towards the bottom of the channel now. But look at all these coins are starting to roll over because we just are not seeing strength come in. Yes, money flow looks pretty decent here, but we're not seeing strength come in here. And on a higher time frame, there's not much until $10. Yes, we did have that level at like $11 where the point of control and value area high is here. So between 1160 down to 1133, 34, that would be the next level we're looking for support to come in, between 1160 and 1134. So if we go ahead and just draw a box down here, 1160, let's do here to 1134. Yeah, that's the box here. That's your value area high, point of control of your previous range. Okay, that's it for Link. I mean, and then as far as resistance goes, they're the same resistance from yesterday. We have this liquidity grab into the bearish backtest of the channel. It's our point of control of the range and a swing failure pattern. That is between 14.56 and 14.77. And then if we break that, we've got 15.47 to 15.61. And then above and above, go watch yesterday's video to get those if you're interested in those. ADA here. ADA is looking like, yeah, pretty weak as well. Like all these moves just look very weak. They look like weak corrective dead cat bounces to me. Now, ADA tried to come up to grab the liquidity of this high into our midline. Not there. We have the liquidity of this local high into our channel midline. It's also near the point of control and near the more macro 382. We didn't hit the 382 like we did with, what was that, XRP or one of the coins that we covered. And so, yes, we're starting to roll over now. Now, this support below us is still a support because we did hit into it a little bit here, but we did not actually come hit your naked daily point of control and your daily at 64. So actually what I would do now, pull this like this, because now we have the SFP of this low, the SFP of this low from a couple days ago. So a double SFP into a daily and a naked daily point of control. And we still have the value area low of the range down here. So we can extend that a bit and we can grab this range and extend it to current day. Oh, actually, look at this. Our value area low is shifted up to the daily. So that's really good. We have even stronger confluence at 63.2. We have our daily, a naked daily point of control, and a value area low. So we can shrink up this box a little bit too to make it a better, tighter support area. So 63 cents, 63.25 is really what we're looking at as if you really want to snipe it, that's the level to snipe exactly. And then, yeah, to the upside, we still have that same area here. This is between 77.8 and what was that? 79.95, so like 80 cents. And then above that, I would say the next area, I mean, we do have the naked weekly point of control at 81.5, but then this area up here between 88.28 and 89.73. That's about it, guys. Not much is going on. You can see we've had these low volume corrective move, dead cat bounces to the upside, and it looks like now on all these coins we're starting to roll over. Let's check Bitcoin real quick before we go. Bitcoin's holding up a lot better than the rest of these coins, but alts are starting to roll over. Maybe Bitcoin starts to roll over here too. Other than that, let's just watch this. It's playing, you know, we're having this slow grind play out, but I do not like this bounce so far. We do have some bull divs, but I don't like what we're seeing here. All right, guys, have a good night. I will see you tomorrow. I've got some exciting announcements coming soon. I can't talk about it yet, but we'll cover it soon. So stay tuned. If you got anything out of this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Just liking it helps get it out there to more people. I am trying to grow this channel so that we can just have more eyes on it, have more, you know, if you want to help, that's great. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.